for projectfandom.com. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Kaylee.
And I'm John.
And we are back to discuss Ranking of Kings Season 1. We're going to be talking about episodes 4 through 6. I'm laughing because Kaylee's trying to move things without disturbing the mic.
It's uncomfortable when this is hanging on the floor.
I know, but it makes noise every time you move it.
Sorry.
Stop.
So stop and be uncomfortable.
Yes, just deal with it. This is part of being a woman, don't you know that? You wear bras, you've had high heels, you understand. His first journey is episode 4. Episode 5, intertwining plots. And episode 6, the king of the underworld. Oh wait, I gotta write the timestamp down. And of course, here's the prerequisite. Apologies if the fish tank is too loud. I am so sorry, but we are just a few weeks away from not having this be an issue anymore. So just bear with us. And also a reminder, if you're not, you might want to sign up to be a premium subscriber over on our Patreon, patreon.com/podcastfandom. Because they are a week ahead, a whole ass week ahead on these Ranking of Kings podcasts. So, there you go. I can't wait to say this. I couldn't say it last week. Couldn't say it today. But now that I know you've seen the episodes, I can say it. Earlier today, when I was waiting for you to write me, when you were ignoring me.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, yeah.
Out doing your civic duty.
Yeah, I was doing my civic duty of ignoring you.
No, tell everybody what you were really doing now.
Oh, yeah. I was ignoring you.
And voting. And also voting.
Yeah, I was voting to ignore you.
For voting to ignore me.
That was Proposition 1 on the ballot. Should we ignore Nina? And it was yes.
I know. Let me find out all my friends were in on this. All across the country.
There was no other option. It was either yes or really yes.
Really yes. Ghost that bitch. That was your choices. Ignore her or ghost that bitch.
No, I was voting.
Yes.
I was voting for Stacey Abrams. Yes. I was voting for Raphael Warnock.
Yes.
I was voting for B. Wynn.
Nice.
I was voting for all of the Democrats and none of the Republicans, and it was great.
Yes. And this early voting, obviously, we should point out. We're recording this because I did say that, premium folks are going to be a week ahead of free folks. So by the time you guys get this, hopefully you've already voted. Don't embarrass us.
Yeah, it may have already been the election day.
Right. Yeah, right. So I don't have the calendar in front of me, but I hope that you guys voted, and I hope you voted like you got some fucking sense. And by that I mean for those annoying Democrats. That's all we got right now. But yeah, so I said to Kaylee, I was like, I really hope I really hope the episode when Domas pushes Bojji is in this chunk of episodes we're watching today. And I hope it's 6, at the end of 6, so John can be like, what the fuck?
I was like, no, dumbass.
But, so this is the last thing we remember, is this betrayal, this thing happening. And so now we're all going in cold, right,
yeah,
for the rest of the season.
We watched was episode 5. We didn't see 6 before this.
Right. And if it was, it might have been, this might have been right when I started putting it on, like, I'm going to watch it. And then I would sleep 10 minutes later. There are a lot of shows like that.
Maybe that's why it says we're on episode 9.
Exactly. I think, yes, I've slept through 3 episodes. So, yeah, so I was just so excited because John, as you can imagine now, like Kaylee said to you guys before, I started watching this on my own without her because I'd heard some things and I wanted, sometimes there's stuff that we can only watch together because of the podcast or whatever. So when she's doing other stuff, I wanted to explore anime. So I started watching this and got to this and was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what is this show? So I gotta know, John. I'm dying to know your overall thoughts on these episodes, but it's specifically this little twist. But although I feel like there were a lot of twists in this little 3-episode arc. revelations, a lot of like, what? Questions. So, John, what did you think?
I mean, I'm enjoying the show. Obviously, like, overall, just enjoying the show a lot.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, like, the betrayal, I think the show did a really good job of making it feel like a real, like, what the fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, like, especially, like, you know, they show, like, the lead up to him, like, him training Bojji and even in the other episodes, and then, like, you know, where he's just like, yeah, like, I care about this guy, and he's like, oh, you can do sign language now. Like,
yeah, like him learning the sign language was something I'd forgotten about, and I was like, oh. So as I'm watching it this time, I'm like, oh, this makes everything so much worse. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so when it gets to that point where, and then, like, it was so funny because when he said to Bojji before that happened, he's like, I'll lead you to the gates of hell myself. I was like, that sounds foreboding. I was like, but it can't be, right?
Right.
But then it was.
Then it was. Turns out it was.
So yeah, I mean, it was really fucked up, but I mean, it was nice. Like, yeah, that happened, and then Kage was right there.
Yes.
That was nice. It was like, oh, like, he got betrayed, and then boom, he got he
reunited.
got better.
Yes. So I really liked last week. I was excited to hear you talk about how much you liked Kage and how much you liked that relationship. Although the next thing I'm going to say is going to be like, really? Because that's a fucked up thing to say. But when we were watching I don't know if it was like previously on or maybe it was a flashback, but there was that moment again where he's like, I'm by your side no matter what. I was like, and that's where John cried like a bitch.
Really? That's fucked up to say.
I know. But it made my daughter laugh. That's all that matters.
Mean, you're not wrong.
I got to laugh. But yeah, but no, I was happy to hear you say how much you like this relationship, because I particularly remembered how happy I was when Kage showed up, and I loved the whole reveal of him, like, literally always being there. Yes. So when you were saying that last time, I was like, oh, John's really gonna dig that whole arc. Yeah.
Yeah, like when the bag just shows up, I was like, what the fuck happened to that bag? And then we see it later. Like, he's the reason the bag was there.
Yeah. Yep. What about you, Kaylee?
I like them. Again, I should say this isn't a show I would watch on my own. Maybe. I don't know.
You're so dark. I can't with you.
It is too light. It's too, like, every time they're skipping around, I'm just like, this ain't Kaylee right here.
It's what I like in shows is really psychotic characters who are also very good looking. And so far, we don't really have much of that in this.
Yeah, ain't nobody on this good looking.
Y'all are terrible.
Well, it's true. They all look goofy. Come on.
Well, it's because they insist on giving everybody a penis feature.
Go on.
Like, if you think about it, like, Bebin has, like, the nuts. The nut chins. And then Appease, he has like a dick nose.
He does.
And then the mom has like a pointy dick nose. It's all very phallic, I'm just saying.
Okay, well, I was about to direct you to Dr. Sigmund Freud.
But okay, I guess nobody's good looking. That was the point, right? And when you say good looking, like, we could, like, Bojji's cute, but you don't mean that. You mean like romantic, like how, you know, an adult, attractive. Yes, you'll be attracted to. Okay.
I mean, no one on the show is intended to be attractive.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like no one is being, like, put forth as like, oh, this person is attractive, whether you think they are or not. Like, no one's being put forth that way.
Do you get Joffrey vibes from Data?
Data?
Listen, John.
Dido?
John, I just found out through, like, listener comments in our Facebook group that for the past few weeks on that House of the Dragon podcast, I've been calling Matt Smith plays Daemon Targaryen. I've been calling him Matt Damon. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. And then somebody, I think it was Kimberly on Twitter, was like, it's not just you, Sarah does it too.
Matt Damon.
You should have said it was intentional.
But no, well, yeah, so now Sarah's like, yeah, it was intentional, and we spelled Damon, because the character's name is Daemon. So we're like, yeah, we mean Matt Damon, but Damon spelled like Daemon Targaryen. And Matt Damon, I just don't like Matt Damon. I just need to say this. And so, like, even to the point where, like, John recommended a book to me that was written by an author who wrote a book that was made into a movie that Matt Damon starred in. And as John was, like, saying that, like, The Martian, I was just like, bleh, in my head. Just, like, I can't help it. I cannot stand Matt Damon. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Me? Mm-hmm. I was just saying, like, because I thought, this is funny, I thought the AE is supposed to be pronounced like an E. So it would be demon.
Demon. Oh, really? Mm-mm.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Like, every time, like, when, like, Eon Flux.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. No, but we're talking about Westeros, you know, so it's Daenerys, Rhaenyra, that a lot of the Targaryens, I should say, have that AE. And like, even one of the characters in the first episode, Emma, but it was spelled AEMMA. Anyway, finish those fucking books, George. Anyway, go ahead, Kaylee. What was you finished? So this isn't something you would normally watch because you like
things that are fucked up.
Things.
Although this is pretty fucked up.
It is.
Right?
But there's the one attractive.
Kaylee was like, we're halfway there.
But also, I want to clarify when I say it's not something I want to watch on my own. This is something I would watch with you, even if we weren't recording it. And if you kept watching it on your own, I would watch it with you.
Aw, why?
Because it's fun watching stuff with you.
That's what I wanted you to say.
Excuse me, objection, leading the witness.
Compliment me.
But it's not something I would watch on my own, by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that we're actually caught up to where we are. Because now we finally knew what happened after the end of episode 5.
Yeah.
I don't know why we stopped there. It was such a cliffhanger. Why did we think it was a good idea to stop?
I don't know. Girl, life. Who the fuck knows? Do you know how much shit we're doing? But here we are. But you know what? That might be why we stopped. Because people kept telling me, podcast it. That's it. And I was like, we just need to stop because we know we like it. It's a lot to talk. That's right. So we just put it on the back burner. And then I remembered thinking, just knowing what we knew, these episodes, these 5 episodes, that I thought John would like it. So it would be nice to talk about with John. So there. Now I remember. That's why we did it. Because we're smart. All right, so my turn. Loved it. Still is confused. I was going to say I was a bit confused. I'm confused about some stuff. And I'm warning you guys, I'm probably going to need you to like some scenes, like I just didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like I would still be taking notes from like the previous scene and then I'd look up and I'm like, what? So I'd just be like,
there were times where you had to have me explain stuff to you.
Yeah, I was like, what? I don't know why it was so hard for me.
And I could tell it's because you were taking notes.
Yeah, I wasn't like trying to not pay attention, but I do have a lot of notes and just felt like a lot was happening. So yeah, y'all ready to talk about it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first episode, we do get that flashback to Dumbass. That's just his name now. He was being trained by the Queen in sign language. Yeah. And I asked Kaylee, I don't think I said it on the podcast. I was like, this is actual ASL, right? What they're doing?
It's, ASL's American sign language.
Well,
yeah,
it
would
be
be
American.
JSL?
JSL. I'm an idiot.
So, I don't know. Because I don't know Japanese sign language as well as I know English sign language.
I wonder if it is. I hope it's so. I hope so. That would be kind of cool. What's his name? Daida is told by the what?
Data?
Yeah. He needs his dad's strength.
Data?
Yes.
He needs his data as his strength.
And there's an interesting bit that I don't remember where we learned this, but like the king who is in first place, like what, I don't know, is it yearly that they rank them? But every time the king who has won first place gets to pick an item from amongst these powerful magical items of some sort, they always pick the same one. And I was like, is it the mirror? But that doesn't make sense now. Like knowing, like learning about, I don't know, maybe it is I don't know. But did you get that, John?
Did I get what? Did they pick a thing every time?
Yeah. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I remember not paying attention to that part.
Oh my god.
but I know what you're talking about. I just remember sitting there and being like, I zoned out. So, because you asked me about it, you're like, is it the mirror? And I'm like, it's what, the mirror? But I didn't say it out loud. I was trying to pretend to know what you were talking about at the time.
See how she does me? See?
I mean, honestly, like I know that the show is called Ranking of Kings, and like that's supposed to be like
yes,
a thing that you care about. But like, all I know is that it was funny when they were like, "Hey, Daida's going to be 90th," and I was like, "Damn, he's bad." But like, that was it. Like I don't know. Like there's no real investment that I have in like the Ranking of Kings. And
that's fair.
Like,
that's fair.
I don't think they sold it to me as like something that I should care about as much as I care about like, hey, look, Kage and Bojji are back together.
That's fair. I feel like the listeners are like, yeah, y'all talked about this last week. I feel like last week we pretty much were doing the same thing. Like, there's a ranking, but we're not quite sure what the fuck.
Yeah, like, what is this like college football where like, yeah, there's 100 of them, but like only 4 of them really matter? Like, maybe, I don't know.
So Bojji they're off on their little adventure, and he runs off. And while he is off on his own, he sees a street performer and tips him a gold coin, changes this man's entire life. Did you note the little thief seeing Bojji walk away? Yeah, I love it because it feels like I caught it. I think you caught it the first time we watched it too, right? But it feels subtle. Mm-hmm. Like it feels like I wouldn't be surprised if people missed it. Because it didn't feel super, super obvious.
This time. So, once again, when you said that, I was like, what?
Oh my god!
I believe you. When you said I caught it the first time, I like to think I was smart back then.
No, I was wrong. Never mind. It was just me. I caught it both times.
But yeah, it was like I noted. I was like, he's flashing that money around. Mm-hmm. Like, he shouldn't be doing that. It's very naive.
Mm-hmm. And what's the guy's name? Starts with an H. Haruko.
It's Hakuro.
Hakuro. Okay, Hakuro. He finds Bojji past
or Hakuro, or maybe I'm probably pronouncing it like a white American, but you get it.
They do that thing where like the camera is just like Bojji's lower half. And Hakuro finds him, and he's like, Bojji. And you're thinking, did that man do something to that baby?
He's split in half.
Right? Like, what's happening?
Well, that's the end of the show.
Kaylee was like, see, that's the show Kaylee wants to see. Notice where her mind went. But he's just knocked out, but also his bag is missing. And apparently in that bag is a letter from the queen to her family that they're supposed to stop and visit. That's dumbass was like, he's like, was there anything of importance in that bag? And he was like, yeah, a letter from the queen. And he goes, that's an issue. He was like, I know.
I love that. I love that Bojji was like, hey, like, it's my fault. And then he's like, no, your stupid fucking mistakes are our problem.
Yes.
He's still like just telling Bojji that he fucked up. Yes. But it was on them.
On them. So they find the bag just like in the middle of the road, right? Mm-hmm. And then Bojji wanders off again All I know is I look down, I'm writing notes, I look up, he fell in like a spike pit.
He saw a butterfly and followed it.
Oh, Jesus, Bojji. This kid. I'm going to need him to not do that.
And then he falls on some spikes, but he falls between the spikes.
Yes, that's a look up. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he just has all these spikes around. I'm like, how did he manage that? Or how did he not?
But he can dodge things.
That's true. So, yeah. And then he meets Hunter 4A. That's what
the captions called him. Yeah.
Yes. I noticed they do that in Hunter x Hunter. Oh, and also, I guess it's just common in anime, but like it'll be like an Attack on Titan, it'll be like the
Scout something.
Scout, number. And it's just like a running number from each episode for the whole series. So anyway,
I tell you one thing. Couple things here. One, I like how Bojji keeps like breathing out of his nose. You know, it's like, and then like the steam comes out of his nose.
Yes, okay.
He does it here. He does it here right before he like approaches the hunter, and then the hunter turns around, and then Bojji's like, "No, I'm fine, no." And then and then the second thing is the way that he mimes his fall.
Yes.
He's like skipping and then falling and then
Yes. Telling this man what happened to him. I'm so glad you mentioned that because I remember really loving that the first time I watched this. So when you said that he breathes through his nose, me and Kaylee were sitting here giggling because I don't know why you were laughing, but I was like, does Bojji just sit there like you know what I mean? Nico, shut up. Just like breathing, you know how like a mouth breather? Like I'm picturing the opposite. Like he's just sitting there inhaling and exhaling through his nose. And I was like, he do that?
I mean,
it's like how they like...
But with your mouth closed?
Yeah, well, that is what he's doing. But like it's
like
to indicate like his determination.
Determination, yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to approach this guy right now. You know, like that kind of thing. Like getting up his I don't know, stamina.
His courage, yeah.
Yeah.
Kaylee, stop laughing at me. You know what I mean. It is not normal for people to inhale, exhale through their nose exclusively.
When you say exclusively, you mean like all the time?
Yes, like to just sit here with your mouth closed and being like...
That's like a default state, I think. I don't know.
You know what I mean. All right. So this shit with this guy...
I didn't remember this at all. The entire time we're watching this, you're like, I remember this.
I was like, I remember this guy. No, okay, because when I said that really fucked up thing, I was like, I hope it happens in episode 6. So Kaylee said to me, well, how much more stuff happens before that? And I was like, don't they lose Bojji or something? And you were like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, I think Bojji gets lost or something happens. And you were like, I don't know. And then we just started watching the episode. This is what I meant. That he just kept getting lost and running off. And that he met this guy who... This was so weird because, like, the smoke, this looked like... Oh, God, I'm drawing a blank. But there's, like, a very specific children's book. Like famous children's book that has an illustration of like smoke that looks like this. And the way this was done, I can't describe it. This is not my jam. This is not my field. I don't know how to talk about animation. But it just looked, it didn't look like the rest of the show. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like it didn't look like anything I'd seen on the show before, if that makes sense.
Book with smoke.
Yeah, I can like, oh God, I can like vividly see it. And I don't know if I'm thinking of...
Is it Hatchet? It's Hatchet. It's Hatchet? It's Hatchet.
No. Not the Hungry Caterpillar.
That was my thought. I thought you were
maybe it's like the
swirls.
Maybe the swirls of that. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, it just looked really pretty and different. But then it got weird because Kaylee was like, I was like, what is that? And he was like, it has a mouth because it sucked up like all that stuff. And then it came out the other end, and I was like, and an ass. Because all those animals came flying out of it. Is this what you mean about it's fun to watch with me? Yeah. Anyway.
Look at that thing's ass.
And then, but he was basically saying, like, they offered up the meat, right? Mm-hmm. And it spits out, like, livestock across the land, like, to give back.
It's so bizarre.
It's raining cows and chickens and...
Hey, this shit right here, this reminded me of, like, Princess Mononoke. Like, it just felt very, like, spiritual, like, nature. Mm-hmm. But, like, also, like, the fact that they, like, showed that boar, like, impaled on those spikes.
Yes,
just,
that's
like,
right.
It's just a very, like, just, here's gore.
Yeah.
If you're looking for some blood.
Like you, Kaylee. That's for you. But then,
and then they killed the family of, what, foxes, was it?
Yeah.
God. Anyway.
It was on purpose.
They did it. I mean, the show did it. But then the man stands up and he's like, do as I do. And he starts dancing around. He has like Uggs on or something.
He's wearing fur boots.
He had on Uggs.
That dance. Christopher Walken in the Fat Boy Slim.
Yes. On the escalator. But I love that Bojji got up and he was like doing it and trying to do it. Like, it was just so cool. But then the man was like, didn't he then like ask Bojji, do you want to be my next sacrifice or something?
That's what
Yeah.
He gathered up his stuff and just ran down the hill.
Bojji was like, no, I would not.
It's like, Bojji's like very, I don't know, he's so innocent.
Yes.
And it's like they're just having him interact with just a bunch of different people in his life, just going through his journeys.
And I wondered, go ahead, don't say what you were going to say because I'll remember.
I was going to say, like, this whole scene just kind of felt very out of nowhere. Like, introducing this this guy, and not only is it just some guy, but he's showing Bojji this thing where you sacrifice an animal and you get a bunch of animals. It's like, what is that? Where does that come from? Why is it suddenly here now? What purpose is this going to serve? And so I'm like, is this guy going to make another appearance later? And I think I said this out loud as we were watching it, or maybe you said it. I think you said, is this guy like one of the kings?
Right, because he has a crown.
He has a crown.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to ask you, because I feel like sometimes they put that on the screen, just like with the other king, Bose. Like their ranking. And I was just going to ask you now, because I was like, did I ask you during the episode? Like, did they put his ranking up there and I missed it or something? But John, you said, yeah, he's a king, right?
No, I said I thought.
Oh, okay.
He had the crown.
I
don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think
They've confirmed. Okay. But yes,
but I kept wondering, because I was like, oh, is he going to be like better than? Because I remember they showed that Dida is 90th, and I was like, oh, this guy's going to be like 12th or something. But they never said. Said anything about him being a king.
Okay. But yes, I definitely feel like we're going to see him again. And that kind of ties into what I was about to say, that this feels very, these episodes in particular felt very Avatar. Mm-hmm. You have like this special person being escorted on this journey and running into like these situations like the Cabbage Man. But I wondered if Bojji is going to be that type of character that we talk about a lot in the podcast. Like, they just make everybody they meet better. Mm-hmm. So I was wondering if that was going to be the case in this scene when he was like dealing with this man and, you know, he's learning something from him. It just felt very Aang. But then the man was like, okay, do you want to die? And I'm like, what?
So he just ran away.
Yes.
Like, it kind of sets up to where Bojji, like, if he makes another appearance, this guy, I would think that it's like, Bojji's going to be like, hey, you were looking for another sacrifice, right? And he's going to point at, like, someone else, and he's like, kill that guy.
Yeah.
And this guy's going to be like, yeah!
So during their dinner around the campfire, Bojji and the H guy and Dumbass, there's like this invisible attack of some sort. I was so confused, even having seen this before, like, because it happened so quick, where the food just gets like put like darted out of Bojji's hands, right? And knowing what I know about what was to come with Dumbass, so I'm curious to see how John took it, not knowing what was to come. When he was like, don't worry about it, I'm sure those are Bebin's darts. And I was like, Bebin's darts? What? And I knew that it was going to end up being Kage who had helped, but I didn't remember the part about Bebin's darts and why Dumbass would react like that, like to this very weird thing, like an invisible attack, like, I don't know. So how did you take this scene, John?
At first, because he says it's, because at first here he doesn't say it's Bebin's darts, right? Like he says that later when he goes out.
When he goes out on his own. Yeah.
Yeah, when he goes out on his own, he's like, Bebin, I know your darts.
That's right.
Anywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, like, here, like, I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, somebody tried to kill Bojji. Like, that's all I took it as. And then later when he was like, Bebin, and I was like, oh, like, Bebin's alive. Because, like, what, didn't he die before?
Right, with the snake. Well, not the snakes, but we saw, well, no, they did show the snakes. Right? No, it was just the ground. Taking it.
Yeah, and then the ground, sucked him in.
Yeah. And we're assuming it's the snakes, right?
Yeah, and the assumption is that he'll be brought back. That's my assumption. And so, like, when he's out here, like, Bebin, I know your knives anywhere. I was like, oh, is Bebin back? But then he didn't show up. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then obviously later they reveal who it was. But, so, like, that's really where I left it. It was just like, I don't know who it is. It might have been Bebin. But then, obviously, it wasn't.
Before I talk about the foxes, did you want to say something, Kaylee, about that?
Not that I know.
Okay. So the foxes...
Oh, no, wait, I did. I'm putting this up to you. I thought it was weird how, like... Well, we were about to talk about the foxes, when the foxes eat it, and they were like, it's poisoned. It must have been poisoned. And they didn't question why it was poisoned. Like, they're the ones who made the food, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Good point. Or maybe, like...
Oh, no, I think they thought the knives were poisoned.
Okay. Right.
They're like, oh, those darts must have been poisoned.
Right. So the foxes die, and it's in this scene, like, Bojji is, like, crying over the dead foxes. What?
Sorry.
Hold on, sorry. Kaylee just put her finger up in the air. What?
They thought the knives were poisoned, but it wasn't. The food actually was poisoned because it was Guy.
Yes.
Who was trying to kill Bojji this entire time.
Yes.
Sorry, I just remembered that.
No, that's a good point to remember. Right.
He did poison the food.
All of that just to be right. Who raised you?
You.
Yeah, I see it. I see the resemblance.
Fuck y'all. Okay, whatever. So Bojji's crying over the foxes because he's precious as hell.
I mean, I'd be crying too.
I know. It's
I was so fucking, because I was like, why are they showing us these foxes? Okay, I guess they're just showing us these foxes eat this food. And then later they fucking die, and I'm like, oh, that's why they showed it.
Yeah, like, that's really fucked up.
Yeah, it's like, because, like, in animation, you have to make everything. And so they're not going to show you some foxes unless there's something's going to happen with those fucking foxes. They're not going to put those in there.
Yeah, makes sense. And the H guy remembers
Hakuro.
What? Hakuro. See, you both are making me fucking confused.
HKR. Hakuro. That's how I remember it.
Hakuro. He remembers. I'm trying to remember exactly what this was. Was Hakuro at his mother's grave grieving at someone's grave, and Bojji showed him kindness of some sort, right?
Gave him a flower.
Put
the flower on his grave.
And he's like, here's a flower, man. And then Hakuro was like, who the fuck are you? And then he's like, all right, I'm just going to leave this flower here. And then he leaves. And then Hakuro was like, wait a minute, he was wearing a crown. And then he follows him. He's like, holy shit, this is the prince. Because, like, he's at his mom's grave.
Yes, I was going to say.
He's at the queen's grave.
Yeah.
Huge grave. Was she also a giant? She was, right?
She must have been. Like, the fact that I can never recognize giant shit. I was like, what are you talking about? It was huge.
It was a huge grave.
I don't know. I just remember him laying down and crying, I think.
Against a huge grave.
He was hugging a very large wall that was actually a tombstone for his mother.
I didn't get all that. Okay. So everybody listening is like, what are you doing? I'm taking fucking notes, okay? I can't catch everything. You see this? I got 3 pages of notes. Leave me alone. So, here's what I have in my notes, because I didn't get the why of it all. Why are they going to the gates of hell? What did he tell Bojji that this was... Oh, was it just this is the name of this, what is it, like a fire geyser? So was that it? Like,
as far as Bojji knows, they're supposed to be going to his mom's family's house. So, like, why are they making this pit stop?
Yeah. That's all he knows, yeah.
Because I thought it was supposed to be like, but it's like a hero's journey, right? Like, he's learning things, and, like, this is his, his mentor, his protector. So...
Yeah, he's going out buying groceries, yeah.
This is exactly what my notes say. Bullet point: Why did they go to the gates of hell? Anyway, he pushes him. So when he pushed him, what did you think, John?
I was like, what the fuck? Because, like, this show, which, I mean, I guess it's very, like, it's every show can be this way, but, like, this show specifically, I wasn't sure if it was like, oh, did this really happen? Or was this, like, some kind of, like, he was just thinking about pushing him and he didn't push him? Because I know that, like, because I know that they put out the hit on Bojji, right?
Right.
On his life or whatever.
Right.
So I was like, was he thinking about assassinating Bojji? And he's like, no, I can't do it. But then no, he just did it. Yeah. he just did do it.
It was just done. And I remember.
And he just walked away, and then and then the fire went.
Yeah,
it's like an explosion. A cool guy walk around.
Yes, that was his bitch walk. I remembered this differently. Like, I thought the episode just ended here. Like, more stuff happened in this episode that I was like, that happened? But yeah, he has like this true hero, like a villain moment where he's like, with the fire and stuff, but then he's like, he's like sobbing.
Forgive me, Bojji.
Yes.
Like, man, you already did it. Like,
right?
you can't feel bad now,
right? So
and he jumps in after him. That would be hilarious.
And then he dies, but Boji's fine.
And Bojji's just like holding on to a cliff.
Yes, his cape. Just like his shirt got caught on something. Hanging like a cape. So Daida has a dream of Pandora's box. And being told that Bojji represents this like undefeatable hope. And he's going down to a basement to open a door when he suddenly wakes up. So that's
about this.
Go ahead.
What I liked, my favorite part of this was how Daida kept saying, brother, no. Like, because I liked that he called him brother.
Yeah.
Like, I just liked that because it's just like, I don't know, there's a connection there. It kind of put a connection between them, I guess.
Well, listen.
I don't know, that I didn't feel that was there before.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I would have completely forgotten. I think I might have been looking down, like taking notes. But I remember hearing him say brother and looking up like, who? Because for some reason I hadn't, like you said, it was a connection that I hadn't felt before. So, yeah. I'm glad you said that because I noted that.
Like, it felt like he's like, he cares about Bojji, and he doesn't, like, he regrets, like, putting a hit out on his own brother.
I don't know. I get Joffrey vibes from this kid.
Yeah, I
Serious
mean,
Joffrey vibes.
Joffrey, I mean, I don't know. I feel like so far I do get vibes of Joffrey, but I feel like Joffrey was like irredeemable, and like he didn't have any like regret about anything. He was just fully evil.
And this kid hasn't done, I mean, I don't know, he did put a hit on his brother.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen him shoot arrow one into anybody's ass, so.
And I feel like, though, even though he did put a hit out on his brother, I still feel comfortable saying he has not yet done something that would, the character can still be redeemed, I think.
Yeah, especially like knowing that he's being manipulated by the mirror.
Right.
Like, we know that. Like, we know that he's being manipulated by, even before we knew that the mirror was like, whatever the fuck her name is. Like, before we even knew, like, it was some person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even that, before that, we knew that the mirror was manipulating him.
Right, right. So, episode 5, Intertwining Plots. So, when we watched this on Funimation, it's so annoying because you have to put the subtitles on each time, like the new episode starts. You have to go into the settings and pick English subtitles. Like, if you want, we like captions, I should say. We like captions.
Now, I was just gonna ask, like, because I had Funimation, and then didn't Crunchyroll like buy Funimation?
Yeah.
Because I know that they were like, hey man, you gotta drop your Funimation subscription and get Crunchyroll. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. So now I watch on Crunchyroll because I don't have Funimation anymore. But y'all are still watching on Funimation?
Yes, and like I thought
there's still some stuff that's like on Funimation
that's not
on
Crunchyroll, yeah,
or the other way around.
And yeah, so I think eventually what everything's gonna be merged, right?
Like, we watch Spy Family on Crunchyroll, but not on Funimation.
Right, because it's not on Funimation, right? And then
Chainsaw Man on Crunchyroll because it's not on Funimation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What else? There's something else on here that's not on. Not Assassination Classroom. What's the other thing?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like put the whole podcast down. I'm like trying to remember all the. We watch way too much anime. So anyway, we had to go into the settings to put the captions on. Is that what I was saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's when I saw the
name of the episode.
Yes.
Because I paused it.
Yes. And I was like, that's an interesting title. And so throughout the episode, I feel like this episode had a lot of like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't understand what was going on. It was interesting that they're telling you this stuff that you don't yet understand, like it's all connected, right? Mm-hmm. They intertwine.
Intertwining plots.
Okay.
Oh, is that what that means?
I think so, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what intertwine means, yes.
Okay. So, don't play with me, y'all. Listen, I'm high and delicate. Leave me alone. So, there's this tearful reunion.
Say at the beginning of this podcast you were not high.
It kicked in. That's how it works.
I'm high and delicate, like porcelain on the top shelf.
Exactly.
Precariously perched. Like
no sudden movements, okay? So we get this tearful reunion with Kage and Bojji. I mean, snot tears. But, like, Bojji had been through so much.
He got betrayed.
He got pushed off a fucking cliff like Mufasa. Like, long live the king.
He got burgled or robbed. I can't remember which.
Almost poisoned.
Yeah. He's like, he
almost
got sacrificed to a fucking butt wind god thing.
Oh, that just reminded me oh man, of a movie from this summer.
Okay. He said
I still
it
don't
like
want to. I still don't want to.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Yes. Yes, John. Yes. Thank you, not, because I need to make Kaylee watch that. So, interestingly enough, you said that like you were about to introduce an ad.
Yeah, he was advertising.
Yes.
For the movie.
I was like, wow, we got sponsors now? That's amazing. I wish. Anyway, so, yeah, we find out that Kage was there for everything. The fall. Like, I completely forgot that part. He was like, when you fell off the wall and you hit your head, I was like, oh, shit. I'd completely forgotten that happened and that it was so violent.
You know what would be cool is if, like, because he is, like, a shadow creature, like, as if, like, you went back and watched those scenes and he was actually, like, hidden in them. He's not, I would assume, but it would be cool if they had, like, that forethought.
Yeah. But it's funny now seeing it from, you know, him telling us that this is what it was. He's, like, trying to figure out where he's gonna fall. It's like fireman with the...
It's so funny because we were watching these episodes and, like, I knew he was in the bag the entire time because we've seen these, but every time something happened, I was like, what?
Wait.
Like, the thing with the knives, I forgot that was him. The thing with his bag being stolen, I forgot he was in the bag.
No, that's what I'm saying. Until you just said that, that's the thing. I knew it was Kage, but I forgot that he was literally in the bag. So when this shit was going on, I was like, oh my God, that's right.
Okay, so Kaylee, how high are you?
Because when his bag got stolen, I was really like, oh my God, who took his bag? And why is it just here? But then, like, I'm like, oh yeah, he's in the bag.
I know people listening are like, do y'all actually watch these episodes? I swear we do. Yeah, he scared the thief away.
Just with his arms.
Yeah, with his arms. And then the whole thing with the poison, the things. And he says that Bebin sent him, right?
Yeah, like, Bevan's turning out to be a good guy.
Yes.
Somewhat.
He was like, don't you start. Sorry.
He's literally still just laying down on his side when he's doing this.
What was I gonna say? God damn it, about Bebin.
You said, I don't... Something.
Oh, never mind. But I did like the fact that Kage says that Bebin wasn't sure, like, where the attack would come from. You know, like, so he needed him to, like, watch him. And I don't know. I like that. And then later, Bojji and Kage get knocked out by this gas.
The curse gas.
They tried so hard. He was like pulling Bojji, and then Bojji's like crawling. They're trying to like protect each other. It's so cute and tragic. It's like, Jesus Christ, this kid can't catch a break. Daida confronts Domas, and this is like a flashback. He confronts him on the fact that Dumbass voted against Bojji. And I was like, but wait, why are you mad about that? And he was like, it's because if you would betray him, you can't be trusted or some shit. It was like very abuser talk.
Yeah, it's like your fault.
Yes. And then he did like parlays that into, will you please assassinate my brother for me to prove yourself?
I don't want you betraying my brother. I just want you to kill him.
Yes. It's like, how do we get here? Okay. And then Daida, I don't know, I always want to say Daida. Daida has to drink like a slushie of his dad. At first I was like, because he's like encased, like it looks like an ice, and then they put him in like a blender, and I was
He comes out with like a black sludge. I was really expecting like shaved ice.
me too. I was like, that might not be so bad.
His blood is just like the red syrup.
Yeah, just put some blueberry syrup on it. No, it was just weird. This whole process, it was just a lot.
It was a lot. Every step they took, it just kept escalating to make this drink. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Birthing a phoenix, and then they behead the phoenix. And they squeeze the blood of the phoenix into the cup, and then they take his jewel out the phoenix.
So many phoenix.
It's my notes I have. Then he has to drink daddy slushy. No, a phoenix daddy.
Oh, God.
No, a phoenix daddy blood egg drink. And then he says, "No, thank you." Those are my notes.
I never want to hear the phrase "daddy slushy" again.
Yeah, this was just a lot. And then those guys with those masks, they were so creepy. And the way they did things, like the way they came and got rid of the phoenix, because the phoenix was going to eat Dida's ass. But the way they got rid of it was like when they would get like shuffled off like the Gong Show or the Apollo. Like a big hook comes out.
Big hook.
Yes. They did that, but like in reverse. They just like pushed him into that like. So yeah, I like the fact though that Dida says no. He's like, no, I'm going pass.
And she like tried talking him into it, and he kept saying no.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna become the best with my own strength.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not drinking this daddy slushy.
I thought I said I don't want to hear it again. Daddy slushy. That was my nickname in college.
Oh, so then we get like this scene of Appease, and he once slayed this, like, well, first he's walking through, it's like a collection of like.
He's following them the entire time. He was following them the entire time.
Following who?
Dida.
Ah.
He was taking the same path.
They're saying, I didn't get that. I just noticed the things that he was like walking by look like frozen creatures of some sort.
That's where the room with his dad was, the frozen.
Gotcha. And I noticed like one was a dragon, and there was like a flashback to Appease killing a griffin and presenting it to the king, and the king liking that. like, yes.
He appeased the king.
Okay, so then Desha, that's his name, right?
Desha.
Desha.
Because they pronounce his brother's name as Despa.
Despa.
So it's Desha.
Desha. He gets both Bojji and Kage, right? And this is interesting because they're unconscious still from the gas. And he says the gas didn't kill them or whatever it was supposed to do because they're already cursed. One is a giant stripped of his power. The other, a member of the Shadow Clan in a different form.
That's so far, that's the most interesting thing I've heard in this entire show.
But yes, that bit of information that they just so casually put in there. I was like, what? Excuse me? Which I was going to ask you guys, like, because I was like, did I miss something? Like, I just thought, because I didn't get the whole mother was a giant thing. See, I missed the...
I don't think they told us that either. I think that's just something
just
we assume with her
because of the gravestone. No, but I'm saying I didn't even get that because I wasn't paying attention or whatever. So I think I just assumed that, Bojji was just different. Like, he was just... I think
we were supposed to assume that because Bojji isn't a giant, maybe his mother wasn't also a giant, and he just inherited that from his mother.
Okay. But either way...
The grave, and both of his parents were giants, so why?
Yeah, and considering that I missed that, I'm just like, wow, who did that to him? And then, what about Kage? Like, what does that even mean?
Another form? Is he supposed to look like
because his mother looked like him. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, a family curse, maybe. Huh. John, what do you think?
I have no idea. I don't know what that means in another form or whatever. Like, I don't know. I like I like learning the fact that Bojji's not just weak, but like he's cursed in a way that where he can't use, like, there's something that he has that he can't like access, which means he's going to access it at some point.
Exactly. Oh my god, he's huge.
You don't introduce the idea of that.
Hulk out. But you know what I hope though? I hope like him being deaf and mute. I hope that's not part of it. Yeah,
better not.
It better not. I doubt it. Right?
Because they're already, honestly, they're already skirting very close to like the idea of like, because he's deaf and mute, like, he excels in other things.
Right, because of the whole, the way he can dodge. Senses. Okay, yeah.
So that was already, I think they avoided that pitfall, which is Bojji does not avoid pitfalls.
Right, I was just about to say.
I think the show did. But like, if they were to be like, and his deafness and muteness are related to his curse, then that would be bad. Yeah, that would not be a great thing. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. So, Hokuro.
I got him looking. I can see it out the corner of my eye. He's hesitantly looking up at me.
Sorry.
I want to see this show that stars Haruko and Data.
Hokuro. Because it's the way I have it written. I'm sorry, I spelled it wrong. Hokuro. He confronts, I swear to God, dog, I will... nothing. I will do nothing, and you know it. He confronts Dumbass, who's like, where's Bojji? Where's Prince Bojji? And he's like, Nico. He's like, he's no longer with us.
He's like, where'd he go?
That's not funny. Nico, stop. And then he just like confesses to it, right?
Yeah. Well, I think he kind of concludes it, and then he's like, "Did you?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Okay, so like John was saying, Domas did not have to be pushed too much to interrogated too much to confess.
Yeah, didn't have to push him off a cliff.
When they fight, right? And I think it's when the blade connects with his arm. The subtitles say
Splorch.
I just
remember. Daddy slushy.
And I wouldn't normally laugh at that, but you pointed it out, and now it's like funnier than it should be.
Because it's funny. I was like, I said splorch. If you're wondering, SPLORTCH. Splorch.
Excuse me, I believe we all know how to spell splorch. Come on.
So what did you think when he's like, go ahead, do it, finish cutting off my hand? John, as someone seeing this for the first time.
Cutting off my hand, I was like, oh, this is okay, Game of Thrones.
True.
This is all fucked up. All of this is just fucked up.
He tells him to do it, finish doing it, and he
follow through with a strike or something.
Yeah, and is it because he doesn't do it because he doesn't have the strength to? Maybe.
I think he like pulled back the sword and went for another hit, so then he blocked it, broke his sword, and then he knocked him out with his sword.
Yeah. That's like, there are certain things I love seeing in TV. I like a good tasing. Those are always fun. And a good throat chop. Those never get old. Him getting his throat chopped and that like noise that he made before he went down. And I remember the first time I saw this thinking, like, did he just kill him? Like, what is happening in this show? But no, he just knocks him out.
And then proceeds to cut off his own hand.
Yeah, he's like,
At
fuck
that
it.
point, it's like hanging by a thread. It's like, might as well.
Yeah. So, is this dark enough for you, Kaylee?
I knew this was gonna happen.
Okay,
So, like,
that's
it
true.
changes my
That's
mind.
true. So the next episode is where we had no idea what was going to happen. We hadn't seen this before.
So I do remember when the first time we watched this, we were looking up the voice actors for some reason. I don't know for who, but we came across the voice for Desha,
Yeah.
but it didn't have a picture. But we knew that Desha was going to be someone in this episode. And then I saw another character named Despa, so I'm like, okay, there's a Despa and there's a Desha.
Yeah, that's right.
And their voice actors, for one of them, I think it's Desha, is a black man.
That's right.
Yeah, but I haven't heard much of Despa's voice.
Right.
I don't know if he's also
Right.
voice
We
actor.
only got like a few words from
Yeah.
him, right, at the end of the episode. So Deza, right? They're like, we got to find Deza to make Bojji powerful, right? And it's Kage who's like, Des something. Yeah, right. Because he just says so. Deza. What's it? I almost forgot his name. Bojji. He ends up sparring with the Knight of the Underworld. That one of the Knights of the Underworld, right? And he's like, try to strike me, and Bojji's like, and the king, the Dessa, is like, are you fucking with me? He's like, are y'all fucking with me? But I think it's Kage who convinces him that Bojji has really good reflexes.
He's better at dodging.
Yeah. So he was like, okay. And I like this because Kage's like, it's all you, Bojji. He's like a stage mom. John, are you still there? Oh, he's muted. Okay.
I am here.
Okay. So after like Bojji does his thing, the king is like, okay, you're good, but no. Okay. So he does Kage gives the king
A letter.
that Bebin gave him. Right?
Do you think Bebin gave
I think it was Bebin wrote it.
I guess so.
And then the king read it and was like, fuck this, and like ripped it up. Right? I think Bebin was supposed to have written it.
We still haven't even seen a letter.
We don't, yeah, I don't know what it said. And then that's when he tells him, the guy that he sparred with, the knight, captain, he catches up to him and he tells them that they need Prince Despa, which is Desa's brother. Right. So he was
I liked that guy. I liked the guy who was like, you know what? I feel pity. I'm compelled by pity. But like, I don't know if he was actually fully compelled by pity, because it felt like he also kind of respected Bojji.
Yes, that's what I thought. Yes. I got that too. In that scene though, when I'm so happy you said that, because I had that in my notes, compelled by pity, because Kaylee, like the scene happens and then she turns to me and she says,
I was like, oh, he said pity. I thought he said petty. Because I told her it's hard to understand what knights are saying under their helmets. They sound all muffled.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, listen, I understand being compelled by petty.
Right?
I get it.
So she was like, she goes, I thought he said petty, and I was, because like the scene continued, and then she says it out of nowhere. She goes, oh, he said pity, because I've been sitting here trying to figure out what he has to be petty about. Okay, sorry about that. I was like petting the dog. Lost my notes. Go ahead, John.
That's like it's always interesting, because it seems like you always see things episodes like this where the king is like some just prick, and then they're like protected by like some cool knight.
Yeah.
And it's like these knights could just easily just kill that guy and just be done with it.
Yeah,
but it's like they never do.
Sometimes
they don't.
There's a very similar character in House of the Dragon right now, but it's very much like a Sir Barristan Selmy in Game of Thrones. It's like some really cool, principled guy working for a dipshit.
I do want to point out, I think at one point the captain of the Knights said that the king's a really great guy, though.
Oh, he did say something like he's just something, like there's something going on.
Excuse,
yeah. Because his face never changed. He was unimpressed the entire time. And then the little handshake.
Kage.
Yeah.
I was once again reminded of Thanos.
Oh, yeah. When the little Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I thought this was really sweet because you get the feeling, not get the feeling, but like, this is a big deal because people don't treat Kage like this. Mm-hmm. And I felt like he kind of gasped because who offers to shake his hand? Mm-hmm. You know? Nobody. Mm-hmm. So I didn't catch her name either. When first of all, Apis walks...
Who?
The mirror lady.
Mirage.
Oh, I got it. It's
what is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Miranjo.
Lady Miranjo.
Miranjo. Yeah. First of all, Apis was... he was going to strike down that little boy. He had no... If that mirror had been a nanosecond later, that boy would have been beheaded right there. He was not fucking around. But she stops him, and we see in the past that the king took Apis to see her when she was in, presumably, whatever she is, whatever form she is, she was not in that mirror.
Yeah.
And she told Apis that she was going to change him. And then he is confronted by this griffin.
Which he later kills and presents to the king.
Okay. I didn't realize that that's the order of things. Because they showed it to us differently.
Yeah, they showed it kind of out of order, but yeah.
It was like revealing to us why, like, where he got the griffin from, right?
Yeah.
Like, that she, like, the same way that she's been manipulating Daida, like, she also manipulated Apis, and like, oh, I'll give you something. And then she like, helped him with the griffin thing. Right?
Is that it? That she helped him?
That's what that was exactly what I got out of it. Yeah, it was like, and so that's why he's like in her debt or whatever.
What does she mean by but wait, let me get this straight. The king took him to see this person.
Yeah. And
he was like afraid, if I'm remembering correctly, right? Because she got really close to him, like almost like forehead to forehead. I feel like I just watched it, but I feel like he was afraid, like he was shaking, if I remember correctly, because he understood who she was, right? Like however powerful she is, whatever she is, he understood that. And she said to him, I'm going to change you. And then when he turned around, the griffin was there. So you're saying, Kaylee, this is when he killed the griffin and brought it to the king. But wasn't the king standing there?
Yeah.
I feel like he brought it to the king's throne room.
Yeah. He did, but I don't know. That's just how it showed us, so I don't know.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm just trying to figure. So when she said, I'm going to change you, I just didn't know, like, I thought she meant, like, physically change him, like, do something.
I think she did do that.
Yeah? Okay.
Because I had before all that, it showed us a shot of him fighting, training, and he didn't seem that good. So I think the king brought him to her to train him.
Gotcha.
To make him stronger physically.
And what did he have to do in order to get that?
I don't know.
But either way, she's
Probably like swear allegiance or something.
yeah. It feels like it just feels like there's some weird connection beyond just thank you, you did me a solid. I'm in your debt. Like I don't know. I'm probably not explaining it right.
I'm curious to know what she looks like. She looks like she'd be pretty. So
Attractive, you mean?
yeah, attractive and psychotic. So I have high hopes.
She's gonna have like a unicorn horn sticking right out the center.
Yeah, I still love her as long as her face is pretty.
Like I can't decide if that's shallow or not. I think it still is shallow. Even if you have horns, as long as you're pretty. Yeah, it sounds shallow. Okay. So she whispers to appease. I'm assuming she tells him the truth, like her end game or whatever. And this is enough for him to like not kill appease.
And to fully just start working for her.
Right. But he does gut punch the boy.
After he tries swinging his scythe on him.
That's right.
He's all about protecting himself.
Yes. She asked him to have mercy. That's right, on him. And he punched him in the gut, knocked him out. Picks him up. Like,
He force fed him that drink. He was drinking that no matter what.
that's
He
right.
soaked it up in a rag, squeezed the rag into the cup again.
That's right. I totally forgot that part. Nico, shut up. I completely forgot that part.
They weren't letting that go to waste. Put a lot of work into that drink.
Okay, wait.
That daddy slushy.
Wait, we jumped ahead a bit because then the next thing that happens is when Kage and Bojji show up in Despa's place. Kage saw that statue and he goes, "Look at this. He wants us to clown." Oh my god, he was talking so much shit. But yeah, so we see, why do I have here in my notes, the mirror was cock blocking.
What?
What show were you watching?
That's what I have. Because we learned something about the mirror. Like the mirror, I meant, when I wrote that, it was like she was, maybe I should stop doing that. Just write what happens. But we learned that she was like preventing something from happening. I was it like getting involved with like Bebin and Appease.
She mentioned something about wanting to put this plan into action with Dinah earlier, but Bebin was in the way.
Bebin was in the way. That's right.
So and I had like brought up to you that maybe she convinced Dinah to tell Bebin to go kill Appease, knowing Bebin would be the one to die, so that she can get him out the way.
Yeah. Okay. But he's not out the way because of snakes.
She didn't plan on that snake.
She's sick of these motherfucking snakes.
These motherfucking planes.
And then she's like evil monologuing. She was like, "You were right to be hesitant, Dinah." And then that's when,
she said something about how it's gonna
fuck you up, basically.
She said it's not gonna do what she said it's gonna do.
It's not gonna give you the powers, right? But yeah, I forgot. She was like mopping. She had those guys in the mask mopping up the daddy slushy and wringing it out.
Sounds so much more.
You said it.
I mean, but you said mopping up the daddy slushy like that. Come on, there's only one way to take that.
I'm sorry. So that's how those episodes end.
Yeah, like whoa.
What?
When they go and they meet Despa,
Mm.
he opens up the door, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "What? Well, I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Why did they react that way?"
Is it just because he's kind of pretty? Like, it's weird. He has like really like his eyes
eyelashes.
look like his eyes look like
It
they
looks
would
like
draw
his
a
lips.
woman's eyes. But his like facial, like the shape is very masculine, hard.
I just wonder maybe if they're like expecting someone who looks like his brother, and he just looks nothing like his brother.
Yeah, because that could be it. But I just thought, like, I was just struck by the eyes. I thought he was drawn like he had eyes like a woman, and I thought, like, Inosuke in Demon Slayer, I wondered if it's just that he's very handsome, like. But as John said, don't nobody looks good on this show.
No.
Yeah.
They would be off model if they look good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Let me be clear. I don't think that the character is handsome, or I think the character is supposed to be handsome. That's my guess.
You let it slip. Where's the dick feature on this one? Huh? Where is it? Huh?
I have to go back and watch the episode again. I'm sure he has one. Yeah, he's Despa. And so this person is supposed to
Be able to actually help him.
right. But like what's interesting is that this whole revelation about the two of them having curses on them, like they don't know it because they were unconscious when we learned it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, is like, it feels like no matter what, unless that curse is lifted, Bojji can't get strong. Or maybe that's the point. Maybe he'll get strong without the curse being lifted. And then the curse is lifted and he's already strong. He's just fucking huge.
Strongest character.
Swole.
Yeah, it's like he's gonna take steroids.
Yes. Wait, no.
And then he's gonna be good at baseball.
What do we think Kage looks like? Because that's just wild to me.
Form. I don't know. I just think it'd be neat if he had a human form.
He's gonna be attractive and psychotic.
It's gonna be like Beauty and the Beast, where like he turns into like some average looking guy. Everybody's like, turn back into the Beast. You're like, hotter.
I mean, his voice sounds like he's like
Older.
Yeah, like in his 40s.
That was so weird.
Okay.
What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kaylee. What?
I said I wasn't thinking that old, but okay.
Fuck you! I'm 48. What's that supposed to mean?
I wasn't thinking of a middle-aged dad old.
What the hell, Kaylee? Go ahead, John.
No, let's hear more of this. Let's continue on this. No. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, it was so weird because, like, in one of the earlier episodes, they were like, they called him, like, a child.
Yeah, that's right.
Even though, like, we saw that, like, he was literally, like, a child, and then we saw it, some years had passed. Some amount of time.
And his
but, like,
voice
it was so
changed,
weird.
too, right? Like,
Yeah. Like, even, like, a completely different voice actor.
Right,
And
right.
so it was interesting when someone was like, this child of, this Shadow Clan or something, and I was like, what? Like, is he supposed to be a child? He doesn't sound really like a child. He sounds,
you know how, like, Grogu...
not a middle-aged man, old. I want to be clear about that. But he sounds probably not my age, which is a middle-aged man.
But Grogu is like Grogu, right? Like Grogu is like a baby Yoda, but he's like 500. No, he's like 50.
Yeah, he's 50. Yeah,
50. Yeah.
My guess is
Kage sounds 50.
No. My guess is that he's like late teenager, maybe, or 20s.
I just can't with anime and the decisions on their voices, man. There's this character in Spy Family. He's 6. Donnie just came home. Speaking of middle-aged old dads. Here comes Donnie. Oh, God.
Are you cutting that out of the podcast?
No, that was funny. I'll cut out the Nico bargain, but that's about it. Donnie, keep it down. We're being professionals over here. He's doing that on purpose. Do you hear him? People are paying for this. Well, no, actually, this one's free, so carry on. I'm kidding. What were we saying? See, I don't even remember what I was saying now.
I'm talking about Kage's age.
Yeah, it's Kage being an old man.
Right. I don't still remember what I was saying. Oh. Anyway, I'm just curious what he looks like. Mm-hmm. That's going to be interesting. So, let's see. Before we go, we don't have feedback, but I want to pull up the... We had an earthquake?
No.
Oh.
That was what we were talking about. And I wrote it down because it came up.
Oh, right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Hold on. I got to find the message from Joshua. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we better get something from Josh. Come on.
Yeah, right? He said challenge accepted, and here we are. Nothing. No, I know he's super busy. Okay.
He's not that damn busy.
Oh, yeah. So the next block of episodes is supposed to be the training, which is episodes... Oh, so I guess that's what is going to help.
Training.
Episodes 7 through 11. So how many is that?
5.
Is that a lot?
That's
That's
a lot.
a lot. Okay. So
For a training arc, that is also a lot, I think, as well.
Yeah. Although, I don't know, Hunter x Hunter had some...
Well, because that's Hunter x Hunter. It's the show where it had a 60-episode arc.
Those bastards. Okay, so what we'll do is let's break it into 3 and 2.
I know, it's so funny. Y'all say, oh, the 5 episodes is a lot for training. I cut my teeth on a little show called Dragon Ball Z, where training lasts like 100 episodes. Every fight is just like a year long. But you go ahead. You go ahead.
I just feel like modern day shows have training arcs now these days, where it's just like 2 to 3 episodes.
Okay.
No, it wasn't a good thing.
He's like, I just dealt with it.
Nobody liked it.
We just accepted it.
It was like, yeah, this is commercialism.
All right, so we'll do 7, 8, 9 for the next podcast. Shut up. Anyway.
I only just recently discovered what that joke meant.
What is wrong with you?
Like, for the longest time, I never understood it.
7, 8, 9? Like ate it? Like physically nom nom nom? What is wrong with you?
I was just like, oh, because it goes 7, 8, 9, I guess. I don't know why 6 would be afraid of 7, but now I get it. I only got it like a few weeks ago.
Jesus Christ.
No, Sid should be friends with 7.
Good people on both sides, John. You're like, no, 7 is literally a cannibal.
That's how math equations work, right? Good people on both sides.
That's right. They got to equal out on both sides. Anyway, we're done. We're done here. We don't move until the week after next, so we have no issue recording next week. If John doesn't, the week after next may be a bit of a...
You said...
What?
The way you said that is like, oh God, like what?
I'm just saying, you have a life. You may not be available next week. I don't know.
You were just like, if John doesn't, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, this guy.
Did I really?
You put so much emphasis on his name.
I'm sorry.
I was like, oh God, hold on, let me just open up my calendar.
John just went to cancel shit for next week.
Well, I had a very important meeting, but I guess I could just not have it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Just that we can record next week, and and we'll try not to have like too much of a break. But the week after we are moving, And so that the 2 weeks after next week might be a bit rough, but there's some stuff that we are able to record early and get a bit ahead of. So, yeah. And if you're premium, like I said, you're already a bit ahead of the game. So, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next time. Again, we're going to be talking about 7, 8, 9.
Oh, I get it.
I can't stand y'all. Bye.